Hello everyone, welcome to the control system theory playlist. In this video, we are discussed example based on root locus. For that, we are first of all talk about steps to construct root locus. Here, there are 8 steps for construct root locus. Step number 1, obtain number of loci ending at infinity. Step number 2, draw the poles and zeros to suitable scale. Step 3, find real axis loci. Step 4, find number of asymptotes and their angles. And the formula for angle is beta x equal to 2x plus 1 180 divided by p minus z. Step number 5, centroid, that is given by sigma c equal to summation real part of poles minus summation real part of zeros upon poles minus zeros. Step number 6, calculation of breakaway point. Then after step 7, this step is not required. If there is complex poles and zeros, then this step is required. Step number 8, intersection with the imaginary axis. Okay, these all steps are required to construct root locus. Now we will take one example to construct root locus. Here type 1, if there is 3 real poles. Here first example is obtain root locus plot for the unity feedback system with transfer function g of s equal to k upon s in bracket s plus 2. Okay, now we know 8 rules to construct root locus. Here I am writing first step 1, that is obtain the number of loci ending at infinity, ending at infinity. Okay, for that here we are calculating first number of poles and zeros. So here I am calculating number of poles. We know that in numerator we can calculate zeros and in denominator we calculate poles. Here number of poles, that is 2. Number of poles equal to 2. How? Here in you can see that in denominator s and s plus 2. So that number of poles are 2. S equal to 0 and s equal to minus 2. So that number of poles is 2. Now number of zeros z equal to 0 because there is no zeros. So that in step number 1 our task is to find out number of poles and number of zeros. Then after number of loci ending at infinity we can find by p minus z. Here pole is 2 and z is 0. So that 2 minus 0 is equal to 2. So that number of loci ending at infinity, that is given by p minus z, and equal to, here number of pole is 2 and z is 0. So that p minus z, 2 minus 0 is equal to 2. That is our step number 1. Now step number 2. In step number 2, draw the poles and zeros to suitable scale. Okay. Here first of all we are drawing real axis and imaginary axis. We know that is vertical line is imaginary and horizontal line is real axis. that is imaginary axis, and that is our real axis, that is j omega, and that is minus j omega. Okay, that is our sigma, negative real axis, and that is plus sigma. Okay, now here, that is our origin point, that is 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, here 1, 2, 3, 4, here minus 4, that is j omega, 1 j omega, 2 j omega, you can write like this. Okay, here number of poles is 2. In denominator we can write s equal to 0, s equal to 0, and s plus 2 equal to 0, so that number of pole, that is 2, and that is 0 and minus 2, 0 and minus 2, so that I am writing 0 and minus 2 pole at this real axis, that is minus 2, that is our pole, and that is 0. Okay, minus 2 and zeros. Now step number 3. Step number 3. Step number 3 is find the real axis. Find real axis. Here you can see that our pole is 0 and minus 2. So that our portion for real axis is 2, 0 to minus 2. That is our real axis. So I am indicating by blue line. That is our real axis. Then that is your step number 3. Okay. Now here we can write Loci present between minus 2 less than sigma less than 0. Okay, you can understand by this graph. You can see that our pole is 0 and minus 2, so that is the real axis portion, so that our Loci is present between this portion only. Remember, this thing is very important. 0 to minus 2, that is our real axis portion. Okay, and that is your step number 3. Find real axis, that is lies between minus 2 less than sigma less than 0. Now step number 4. Step number 4. Okay, step number 4 is find number of asymptotes and their angles. Okay, here number of asymptotes is given by p minus z. We know that pole is 2 and 0 is z is 0, so that 2 minus 0 is 2. So our number of asymptotes is 2. Now angle, and formula of angle is beta x equal to 2x plus 180 divided by p minus z, where x equal to 0, 1 up to p minus z minus 1. And here our asymptotes is 2, so that we can consider x equal to 0 and 1. Okay, so we are calculate angle at the value of 0 and 1, so that when x equal to 0, beta x, that means beta 0 is equal to 2 multiplied by 0, that is 0 plus 1, 180, and p minus z is 2. So that 180 divided by 2, that is 90. Then after, when x equal to 1, beta 1 equal to 2, 1 ja 2 plus 1, 180 divided by 2, 2 plus 1, that is 3, multiply by 180, divide by 2, 290 and then that is 270 degree. Okay, that is two angle beta 0 and beta 1, that is 90 degree and 270 degree. That is our step number 4. Now step number 5, that is centroid. Okay, centroid formula is sigma c equal to summation real part of poles minus summation real part of zeros upon p minus z. Okay, poles minus 0. Okay, that is your step number 5. Now real part of poles, we know that our pole is 0 and minus 2 and summation, here summation, so that we are adding 0 plus minus 2, that is summation of real part of pole minus summation real part of 0, that is our 0, because there is no 0, and p minus z, that is 2, we already know that 0 minus 2, that is minus 2 upon 2, so that is minus 1. Sigma c is minus 1. Okay, so we draw the asymptotes passing through the centroid, that is minus 1 centroid, by using dotted line. Okay, that is our step number 5. Now step number 6, calculation of breakaway point. Calculation of breakaway point, that is our step number 6. Okay, for calculate breakaway point, we are using characteristic equation, and we already know that what is characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s equal to 0. Now h of s unity feedback, so that h of s equal to 1 and g of s, we know that 1 plus k upon s plus 2 equal to 0. Now solving this, s plus 2 here, so that s plus 2 plus k, and LCM is s plus 2 goes here and becomes 0. So that our characteristic equation s square plus 2s plus k equal to 0. That is our characteristic equation. For calculate breakaway point, we make subject k equal to minus s square minus 2s. Now differentiate this k with s, so that dk by ds, and that is given by minus 2s minus 2. Okay, and compare with 0, so that we can write 2s minus 2s minus 2 equal to 0, so that minus 2s equal to 2 and s equal to minus 1. That is our breakaway point. Okay, here first we check that is valid or not, that is valid or not, s equal to minus 1. We know that our real axis portion, that is 0 to minus 2 and minus 1 is lies between this portion. Okay, here minus 1 comes, so that we can say that s equal to minus 1 is valid breakaway point. Valid breakaway point. If s equal to minus 3 come here, then that is not the portion in this portion, that is not exist in this portion, so that is not valid. But in our case, s equal to minus 1 come, so that is valid breakaway point. Okay. Now, step number 7. Step number 7. This is not required here. Not required here. Because there is no complex poles and zero. This is not required here because here in this example there is no complex poles and no complex zeros. Okay, so that step number 7 is not required here. Now last step, step number 8, that is intersection with imaginary axis. Intersection with imaginary axis. Okay, now we know that our characteristic equation, that is our characteristic equation, so writing here s square plus 2s plus k equal to 0. Okay, characteristic equation, here we are using route array. We already discussed in last video route array. For by using route array, I am writing here route array. Okay, now comparing this characteristic equation with standard equation, we can write a0 equal to 1, a1 equal to 2 and a2 equal to k. Okay, now by route array I am writing here that is s square, because that is second order characteristic equation, s square s raised to 1 s raised to 0. S square, here a0 a2 come, so that I am writing here 1 k, that is our route array. Okay, when route array construct, here we can write a0 a2 a4, here a1 a3, already discussed in last video. So I am writing directly here a0, that is 1 k, s1 2 0, and in last row 2 multiplied by k, that is 2k upon which 1 minus 1 multiplied by 0, that is 0 upon 2, so that is k. Okay, we know that k is greater than 0. K is greater than 0 since the first column is always positive. Since first column is always positive, the system is always stable and will not intersect imaginary axis. Okay, here we know that first column is always positive and k is greater than 0, so that the system is always stable and will not intersect with imaginary axis. Okay, now it's time to draw root locus for our transfer function. So I'm drawing this vertical line, that is our imaginary axis, and that is our real axis. Okay, that is our vertical axis, that is our real axis, and that is given by j omega and minus j omega minus sigma plus sigma. Okay, here I am writing 1j, 2j, 3j, 4j, minus 1j, minus 2j, minus 3j, minus 4j. But in our case, there is no required of this imaginary axis. Okay, then that is our 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember here, root locus of g of s, that is our transfer function k upon s plus 2. Okay. Now, what we are using here, very important thing. First of all, I am using centroid, that is our centroid, sigma c equal to minus 1. Sigma c equal to minus 1, that is our minus 1. So I am using centroid c, that is minus 1. Now, we know that our two angle beta 0 equal to 90 and beta 1 is equal to 270. Okay, if we are measuring angle by protractor, then you can find out 90 is here, that is perpendicular, and 270 is directly opposite to 90. Okay, that is 90 and that is 270. Okay, beta 0 is 90 degree and beta 1 is 270 degree. Okay, how we can construct root locus? First you find out centroid, and that is our minus 1, centroid, that is minus 1, so I am marking this point, and then after beta 0 is 90 and 270 directly opposite to 90, so that I am just drawing this line. Okay, now we know that intersection with imaginary axis. Here we can find that all our k is greater than 0, that is stable, always stable. So that is not intersect with imaginary axis. If there will be negative, then it will intersect with imaginary axis. But in our case, not imaginary, intersect with imaginary axis. So that I'm just drawing this line here. Okay, I'm just drawing this line in this direction and in this direction. Okay, that is our root locus of transfer function k upon s plus 2 at centroid minus 1. Okay, that is very important example and the basic example how to construct root locus. If you have any doubt and not understand, then write comment in comment section. I will solve it in next video. Okay, thank you very much.